didn't even know who this lady was until I got this book, and the drama, honey, the drama. Hey guys, what's up and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Jordan. Welcome. In today's video, we're actually going to be doing a boss book review. So we'll be reviewing today is Girl Stop Apologizing by Rachel Hollis. I had no idea that there was so much drama, honey, around this book, her last book, and her herself. So we're gonna be getting into this. So if you're interested, stay tuned. Alright, so let's get a quick backstory on who Rachel Hollis is. I am not gonna lie, I didn't know who she was. I knew about these books, Girl Stop Apologizing and Girl Wash Your Face. Funny story, I actually didn't realize that Girl Wash Your Face was the first one, so I ended up picking this one up because I thought it was the first one, but whatever. So I'm gonna be telling you guys about her backstory. So, Rachel Hollis is an American author, motivational speaker, and blogger. Her first self-help book, Girl Wash Your Face, since released in February 2018, has maintained a spot in the top 10 best-selling books in the country for 7 months, held the top spot for 12 of those weeks, and has sold more than 800,000 copies in the US. Rachel and her husband, Dave Hollis, run this company called Hollis Co., the Hollis Company, I guess. And basically it's, from me reading like their about page, it's a media, products, inspiration, and community type business. I've seen in a lot of different videos where they've been doing like motivational speaking and like couples conferences, and I think that's just basically what they do. It's a lifestyle brand, media, stuff like that. If you want more information, like a deep dive into her husband, and all of this stuff, check out this video. I actually watched this video. It's a little long, but it did give a really good backstory on Rachel Hollis and her husband, Dave Hollis. That's really all the backstory I'm going to get into right now because I want to talk about the book. I don't want to just like brush past the controversy because I know people, if that's your thing and you're in her demographic, that's of what you're interested in. So apparently Rachel Hollis currently wrote a book, didn't see that coming or something like that. I'll put the picture up here or here, and then people were upset with her because her and her husband have been doing these marriage conferences, and you know, they're like, they were a strong couple and they were good in their marriage, and then boom, they got a divorce. So I think people were upset about that. There's a few other things even in this book, people were upset, and her last book too, people were upset about the fact that, you know, she doesn't give credit to all of the people that help her and portrays herself as like this super Christian mom, and just, you know, I think just rub people the wrong way. Whether you love her, hate her, don't know her, my opinion is on the book, not her herself. So let's actually just get into that. I'm going to be going into the sections of this book, but the overall theme that I want to talk about in this video is confidence, and how building confidence takes time and energy. Whether you like her, love her, hate her, don't know her, what I will say about Rachel Hollis is that she has built up her company and her name and everything on her confidence to get out there and do new things. So I think that we can really take that away from the book, and let's get into the section. The way this book is written, it's divided into 3 different sections, and that's excuses, behaviors to adopt, and skills to learn. I'm paraphrasing. So let's start with the first one, excuses. One of the more interesting chapters in the book to me was the excuse, I'm not a goal-oriented person. Now, I know a lot of people have that mindset or think, hey, you know what, I'm not the type of person to go out there and just, you know, give it a try or do new things. But with that being said, if you're not goal-oriented, or you think you're not goal-oriented, then what are you actually pursuing? So let's talk about your career. If you're not ambitious in your career, what are you actually pursuing? Are you literally just waking up and going to work for a paycheck? And again, cool. If you are, that's fine. But when I wake up in the morning, I want to be happy about certain aspects of my job. Now, we all know jobs are jobs, and we go there to work, but you shouldn't be waking up miserable and like, oh my goodness, I hate this job, and I just want the time to go by, and you're sitting there and you're watching the clock, and it's just a horrible experience for you. No. So in that case, the goal would be, hey, I'm gonna find a job. Not even a job, I'm gonna find a career path that I can take and that I can stick to until, you find something better. So I think that the I'm not a goal-oriented person chapter in her book really spoke to me, because I feel like before this whole entrepreneur thing, before this whole, getting a good job thing, I was a goal-oriented person, but I didn't understand where I was going really until I got there. And now I'm looking into the future, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, and figuring out, okay, this is my goal, this is my plan, and this is how I plan to implement it. So goal, plan, implementation. I think that was a really good chapter in the book. All right, the next section of the book is behaviors to adopt. And she talks about a ton of different things, habits you can build, different things that you can do in your life to be successful. But what I found interesting was the building a foundation for success. Now in the book, she talks about different things. She talks about health. She talks about hydration, having a morning routine. But what I really took from that is not exactly what she said. It was just developing good habits. She talked briefly about that, but I think developing good habits overall in your life is really going to make you successful and really going to make it easier for you. It's the concept of, I can't wake up in the morning, right? I don't think that you need to get up at 5 a.m. If you do, kudos to you, but I'm not a morning person, but I don't think that you need to get up at 5. Now, I do think that you need to get up when your alarm goes off. And a habit that you can start doing is to put your alarm or your phone away from you, so that when you want to hit that snooze button, you're literally going to have to get up, go to the device, your phone or the clock or whatever, and snooze, and then get back in bed. At that point, you've made the conscious decision to go back to sleep after you've gotten up. So that was your decision to make. So I think that's developing habits is actually a really good section in the book, because without habits, where would we be? I almost forgot, there will be a link in the description to this book. Buy it if you want, look at it if you want, up to you. The last section in the book is skills to acquire, and this was probably one of my favorite sections in the book. I don't know if I said that already, but this is actually one of my favorite sections in the book, because she talks about a skill in particular that we all tend to have, but we just don't utilize, and that's our skill of planning. And I know you're like, what sense is that, right? But let me explain to you. So in the book, she talks about planning and how to plan and then how to implement. So she talks about starting with the end goal in mind, which is a great, I've heard that before. You start with the end goal in mind so that you know where you're going. Cool. But what she talks about is, after you start at the end goal, going back to the beginning and then setting these mile markers along the way. Meaning you're not just, looking off into the sunset of your big idea. You're actually setting different milestones for yourself. And let's say you want a better job, for example. So you want a better job, for example. That is your end goal. So your mile markers would be, hey, I need to get more education. I need to get more experience. I need to learn how to network. I need to fix my social media presence. Those are all little mile markers along the way to you getting a better job. And depending on what your goal is, that's what your mile markers are going to be. So you're not being overwhelmed. You're not saying, I need a new job, I need to redo my application, practice my interview skills, yada yada yoop yoop, right? You're not overwhelming yourself with all those different things. You're taking it chunk by chunk and making mini goals, essentially. Your mile markers are your mini goals. So you're making mini goals to get to your bigger goal. And I know sometimes we're like, okay, yeah, I know that, but the implementation part, making it into smaller chunks, is actually what we need to do in order to implement. Because when stuff is too big and too much, we tend to just be like, you know what, it ain't even worth it, forget it, I'm not gonna do it. But when you have these smaller chunks, you're like, okay, I need more experience. Cool, let me volunteer for something at work, show my initiative, boom, check that off, right? I need to network more. Let me go to LinkedIn and start conversations with people and actually have and make relationships with people. Check, right? I need education. Maybe I can't afford to go back to school right now, but what I can do is get online and get a certificate that costs way less than any bachelor's, associate's, or master's degree. Boom, check that off. Those are little steps that you can take to be successful when you plan. So now I know you're like, Jordan, you've been talking, rambling this whole time. What does any of these things have to do with confidence? Well, I think that overall, this book is a pretty good read. I know some people had a problem with it. That's their opinion. Cool, kudos, whatever. But I think that the excuses we tell ourselves chip away at our confidence. The behaviors that we choose to adopt in our daily lives can add or take away from the confidence that we have in ourselves. The actual physical skills that we have definitely play a factor in our confidence. And I think that she had a really good breakdown of all of that in her book. So all in all, I do think the book was really good, and I would love for you guys to send me more books. Not send me, suggest more books. I mean, if you want to send me a book, hey, by all means. But I want you guys to suggest some more books for me to read down in the comments below. And I will share any lessons that I have learned and I think are good to share with you all so you can learn. Again, whether you like her, don't like her, don't know her, books in general, self-help books in general, really do give you a new perspective, and you need to be reminded of these things, even if they seem cliche or, you know, overdone. Like, we literally need to be reminded of the simple things because we tend to forget them in our day-to-day lives and as we keep going. But if you sit here and you remind yourself that, hey, these are the habits I'm gonna make, these are the excuses I'm not gonna tell myself, and these are the skills that I plan to acquire, you're gonna have a much easier time in life and in your professional career. Make sure you guys go check out my confidence playlist. I will have it either posted up here somewhere or I will have it at the end of the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Again, like, comment, subscribe, and I will catch you guys on my next video. Bye.